What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Kosher Nostra back at you guys with another sneaker unboxing, review, on-feet look with the sock combo to match. Guys, let's jump right into another one. Alright guys, let's give you one quick look at this meshed up box, which of course they did a great job on. You got elements of the 4, 5, and 6 Kyrie box all mashed into one. The Kybrid S2, the colorway on this one is multicolor in a men's size 11, retailing for $140 US. Fam, let's pull this out the box and check out this colorway. Okay fam, there they are in hand, the Nike Kybrid S2 in the best of colorway. Earlier on, I want to say they dubbed these the pineapple colorway or the pineapple house colorway or whatever. These smack, guys. I'm pretty sure this is the last Kybrid colorway that they're going to treat us to. They've dropped 7 of these, which makes sense because Kyrie is sort of obsessed with numbers and numerology and all that noise. So with the Kyrie 7 just around the corner, they threw 7 colorways of these things at us, guys, and this appears to be the very last one. There really hasn't been promo stuff for any other colorways of these Kybrids that I have seen. So this is it, fam. And they definitely ended on a high note. I will say that this colorway definitely seems to be the consensus favorite between everybody who has picked up any of these Kybrids or has picked up none of these Kybrids. For whatever reason, they throw some of these SpongeBob elements on this shoe and everybody starts to get a little bit worked up and a little hot and bothered and has to come out and start copping some of these Kyries, guys. What I find the most interesting about this colorway between the two different shoes, the left and the right shoe, is there's a few elements that we see that actually make a return to these Kybrids. So far between the two shoes, guys, we've seen the taco hits already on some of these Kybrids, the galaxy print, and the sock liners on both of these shoes we've seen so far. So it's kind of interesting. They've only dropped 7 of these colorways. However, they felt the need to treat us to some pieces of these Kyries more than once on some of these Kybrids. They've been represented on more than one colorway of these things. Kind of interesting that they decided to do that. The toe box and the small, slight leather synthetic mudguard on this shoe are all going to be pulled from the Kyrie 4. The outsole on the Kyrie 4 was one of my favorite things about the Kyrie line, simply because they were not afraid to color block that outsole in really, really unique and memorable ways, guys. They really chose to turn the outsole into a piece of the shoe and not really just something to color block just for the sake of color blocking, guys. Sometimes with those shoes, it was just as exciting to see what they were throwing at you on the bottom, on the outsole of those Kyrie 4s, as it was to see what they throw on the uppers of the shoes, which of course everybody would get to see when those things were on feet. They strayed a little bit from that because the Kyrie 5 and the Kyrie 6 outsole sort of feature the all-seeing eye pattern a little bit more. And on these Kybrids, they've actually done this sort of weird all-seeing eye that kind of spans from the left shoe to the right shoe on the upper portion of that outsole. So that's one what the element that we have not seen on any of these shoes. They haven't brought back any of the color blocking on the Kyrie 4s for any of these outsoles so far. As you work your way up to the middle portion and really the lacing system of the shoe, guys, that's where they really introduced the elements that we saw from the Kyrie 5. Primarily that fly trap. It was really the #1 element introduced with the Kyrie 5, aside from the Zoom turbo unit, which was a Zoom bag that actually featured kind of like metal braids going through the Zoom bag, which basically created sort of pockets to the airbag itself, which would basically allow you to kind of come down on the airbag and the airbag would flex independently instead of just sort of catching you like a big pillow. So they introduced the Zoom turbo unit to the Kyrie 5s and they introduced the fly trap lacing system to the Kyrie 5s. However, guys, unfortunately that Zoom turbo unit is not here in these Kybrid S2s. Probably the only negative in my opinion in terms of actually picking these things up to hoop in. And then, guys, the entire back half of the shoe is going to be pulled from the Kyrie 6. So whether it's the ankle collar of the shoe or the rubber compound that makes up that heel cup on the shoe, that's all Kyrie 6 all day. The one thing that I can say that's most prominent about them using that feature on this shoe is the Kyrie 6 not only sits higher than the Kyrie 4 and the Kyrie 5, the way they shape the ankle collar almost reminds me of sort of like a cowl on like a superhero cape or something like that. It's very, very prominent. It sits very, very high. It makes the shoe look a little awkward when you take pictures of them and they're not on feet because the tongue tends to sort of sink down into the shoe, and that ankle collar just sits so high. But really guys, the main thing about it is it makes this shoe very, very difficult to get on feet, especially if you struggled getting a Kyrie 5 or really any of the Kyries on feet. You're probably gonna struggle pretty significantly with this thing, guys, so definitely take that into consideration. The other thing I would say to take into consideration is you're probably gonna wanna size up at least a half size. Kyries tend to run small and fairly narrow, so sometimes sizing up a half size to sort of compensate for some of that lack of space will really give you the fit that you need. Sometimes you might have to size up more and go maybe a full size up, depending on really on the shape of your foot, or if you're a little bit younger and maybe your foot's still growing and you want to take that into consideration and give yourself some room to continue to grow into the shoe. Colorway wise, they pulled a lot of really cool elements and pieces of Kyrie's to make up this left and right shoe. The number one most noticeable thing about this shoe is going to be the hit of the pineapple on the back half of that right shoe. That of course was pulled from that Pineapple House Kyrie 5. On the actual toe box of the shoe, you've got these sort of green flames, which are very much reminiscent of that Duke PE colorway. But to me guys, it's almost more of a shout out to that Paranorman foam colorway. Kyrie himself is a big sneakerhead, so he's always reaching out and paying homage to some of those older, more iconic colorways, which we'll actually see another piece of on the left shoe of this pair. The fly trap itself, while it's slightly different, the actual color blocking and the material and stuff like that used was pulled from that Kyrie 5 Mamba Mentality colorway, which was really dope. Was a shout out to a old Kobe colorway. You'll see a black tongue with this sort of less than traditional Kyrie Irving logo that's surrounded by red and sort of gold stitched roses. That was pulled from the Chinese New Year Kyrie 4, which is a super dope colorway. Unfortunately, I do not have and hope to get my hands on those one day. The sock liner on this pair is going to be pulled from that navy colorway of the USA Kyrie 6. It was sort of a subtle element that they threw on that Kyrie 6 that really kind of solidified that colorway in my opinion. And then they brought us the white USA colorway, which was a little bit more dulled, a little bit less memorable, not featuring that kind of crazy outlandish playing card all-seeing eye themed sock liner. It also says Kyrie in this kind of Squidward-esque text and color on that fly trap, which was the main difference between this and the Mamba Mentality. That Mamba Mentality featured kind of like a snake eye right in the middle of that fly trap. So kind of a cool little difference that they chose to throw at us right there. On the medial portion of the shoe, you've got a large chunk of white, and then you've got the hits from the Be True sort of gay pride colorway of the Kyries, which was another very dope PE of the Kyries. And it's complemented pretty nicely by that clear heel counter, which underneath you can see the letters that comprise Nike, and they're made up in all of the colors that were used on that SpongeBob pack. I want to say they didn't really use that font on any of the SpongeBob pack, but it definitely was on the t-shirts. So a pretty cool little addition that they chose to bring right there, and I definitely dig the multicolor hits right there, especially in conjunction with the Be True swooshes that we see on the medial portion. As we jump over to the left shoe, that left shoe is crazy dope, guys, and super colorful. We got the hits on the toe box, so sort of like the Galaxy vibes or whatever. Really nice touch, really pops. You've got hits from the Chinese New Year Kyrie 5 on the actual fly trap itself. A return, as we previously stated, of the forest camo from the Taco PE colorway. Above that is going to be that yellow squiggly swoosh from the actual SpongeBob colorway of the Kyrie 5s. That heel counter features this kind of purple to orange leopard print fade that you can see through the actual clear rubber hit on the heel counter itself. I want to say that was pulled from one of the Kyrie PEs. A really nice touch right there. On the medial portion of that left shoe, we got some hits from the confetti colorway of the Kyrie 4s. The swoosh on top of that is going to be a gloss black with this sort of green slime drip on top of it, which came from the Kyrie 4 Halloween colorway. They brought back the little female sign with the basketball for a circle on that fly trap as well. That's going to be pulled from that Power as Female Kyrie 4. It was actually back there on the heel counter, so they chose a little bit different placement on this shoe. The tongue on the left shoe is also black, and I really like how they mashed up the Squidward, Patrick, and SpongeBob Kyrie Irving logos from those tongues into one. So you've got all three of those colors represent on that Kyrie Irving logo. Really, really nice nod right there. And last but definitely not least, guys, and one of my favorite hits on any of the shoe is gonna be that really, really dope, iconic, sort of picnic blanket themed sock liner on this shoe, which was a nod to the mini SB Lobster colorways, which dropped in collaboration with Concepts. Shout out everybody over there at Concepts, a really, really great store that's always doing great stuff with any of their drops. Man, guys, these are heavy. They did a great job on these. I am a little bit sad to think that we're not going to be treated to any more of these Kybrids. However, not that sad, guys, because guess what? The Kyrie 7 is right around the corner. It looks like they're dropping maybe 4 or 5 of those release day. So Kyrie, once again, is coming after everybody's wallet. But at least it's not 11 or 12 of those things, man. These are dope. Super happy to get my hands on these. These were pretty easy to get your hands on if you really tried today. They definitely did not fly off shelves. They're not sold out everywhere, but they sold better than any of these Kybrids so far, just because of the nature of them dropping 7, I feel like. But guys, once again, and more so in what the fashion than any of these previous Kybrid drops, they've brought us the best of Kyrie Hybrid, or Kybrid S2 in this case. Let's check these things out on feet with the sock combo to match, guys. Let me know what y'all think about these. Throw me any comments, concerns, anything like that downstairs, and I'll try to get back to you guys. Y'all know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good noise. Thank you for rocking with me and my review. Much love, fam. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.